I'd like to know, is this how you expected things to be progressing at this time, according to all these agendas that are at play?
Well, yes, because you know what's happened since the turn of 2020 has been prepared for decades and decades and decades. I'm not kidding. I mean, you know, the the people behind this, if I can call them that, are operating on a completely different level of knowledge and a completely different timeline, really. In the sense of in the world of the population, people see things a certain amount into the future, not very far. But this global cult, as I call it, this global network of secret societies, semi-secret groups, and satanic groups, which has an interlocking leadership, they are working to a very different timeline with a very long projected future. So you've got the population going about their business, and the thing about the population, from the cult's point of view, they have to be denied knowledge. They have to be denied knowledge about the nature of reality, so they don't understand how reality works, and therefore they're at the mercy of something they don't understand. And the other thing, of course, is that they mustn't be allowed to know what the agenda for them is, what this, where this is leading. So what you've got is a timeline in the world of the population that thinks about the middle of next week or holiday next year. Well, they used to. And then you've got this other world, which is this network of secret societies, which at its inner core, because it's all massively compartmentalized, only the relative few know the whole picture. They are planning, and have been planning, decades and decades and decades ahead. And because you've got this difference between knowledge and therefore possibility, not least technological possibility, you have had in this cult reality the knowledge of technology that was going to unfold in the future. And so when you then look at what Aldous Huxley wrote in Brave New World in 1932, that was published, and then you see what Orwell wrote in 1948, and people I've quoted in my books from the way back, insiders who were predicting where the world was going, they were able to not just describe the world that we're now in, but they were able to describe, not least Huxley, the kind of technology and chemical manipulation that we're now seeing also. And if you can tap into this other world by working your backside off for 30 years, you can at least get a massive amount of understanding of where the world's being taken. So all along, we have been led to this moment, and this other world has done the leading. And up to the turn of 2020, it's basically kept it under the radar because don't go too early. Don't reveal your hand too early. So they've been preparing and preparing on so many levels we can talk about up to the start of 2020. And then they went for it. And, I've used this analogy before of, you're in the pack in say a 3,000 meter race, 5,000 meter race. And then you come to the final lap or the back straight, and you go for it. You go for the line. And when you go for the line, you've got to get there, because if people catch you up, they're probably going to go past you, and you're not going to win the race. And it's a similar situation that we're facing here. Once they stepped into the room, once they revealed their hand, more and more through 2020, they had to move quickly. And it's a race of locking everything down and controlling everything, not least technologically, before enough people have woken up and seen what the hell's going on. Now, we are making progress in that regard, nothing like as fast as I'd like to see it, but we are making progress in that way. And that's why, you know, we're working all hours we can to try to alert people to how these dots connect and what is actually going on. And it's not random, and it's all been planned a very long time. And, you know, you have Huxley talking about the creation of a new human that doesn't procreate. Well, that's what we're going into. He knew about that all those decades ago, because it's long planned. And what happens is you've got this level of knowledge here, which is operating in the underground bases and the secret projects, that's got technology and has had technology way back, that today, as it plays out, is considered cutting edge. But they knew about it way back, because they've been preparing for this time technologically. And so when something is, you know, plays out in the public arena, like an AI technological smart technology that's about surveillance, about control, about getting microchips in the body and stuff, yeah, it comes out, oh, this is the latest thing. Well, it wasn't the latest thing for the cult, because the cult's had it for a very, very long time. That's how you know, people have known about the technology that was coming way before it actually came out. And the preparation has even got into the detail of preparing psychologically the people in authority and the people in law enforcement. You know, I've been tracking this now for, again, decades, where the dynamic between law enforcement and officialdom, authority, and the public has been demonstrably changing from one of service and serving the public to one of seeing the public as the enemy and something to be subdued, something to be controlled. And there have been organizations. There's one that started out in Britain called Common Purpose, which is now global, which do training courses for people in authority. And they use techniques like neuro-linguistic programming and other techniques to prepare people. They call them Common Purpose graduates, to prepare them psychologically for this time. And it's from the cult point of view, it's played out brilliantly, because the attitude of authority and law enforcement, great chunks of it anyway, to the public since this started in 2020 has been absolutely disgraceful. The public are now the enemy. They're there to be subdued. They're there to be controlled. They're there to be imposed upon. So all these different elements have been prepared for a long time, because and I'll finish with this answer here, that this cult doesn't like surprises. It doesn't like states of flux. It's very uneasy with states of flux, where it could go either way. If it was involved in a football match, it would want to control both sides and the referee, so it knew the score before the game started. That's what I'm talking about in terms of not wanting surprises. That's why it uses mind control so much. It uses so many mind controlled people to do its bidding, because then they're controllable. There's no surprises with a mind controlled person who's operating according to program. And so what we need to do is give them some bloody surprises. And I think they've had a few already, but they need a lot more.